All right, I think we're gonna start this thing. Welcome everybody to the Minnesota Original Music Festival Songwriter Panel. My name is Mal Murphy, and we are at the Arts Center of St. Peter. First thing I'm gonna do is just say that the Arts Center is always open to donations. We're gonna say a thank you to Anne, Montana, and Ark who are working, and there's a box there at the entryway. If you got a little extra. Say thank you to Triple Falls, who's doing the sound for not only today, but a lot of the rest of the festival. And yeah, we'll give a hand of applause. And then we'll also say thank you to the Minnesota Original Music Festival. And I got a little bio here. This activity is made possible by the voters of the Minnesota through a grant for the Prairie Lakes Regional Arts Council, thanks to legislative appropriation from the Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund. This program is made possible with funds provided by the St. Peter Tourism and Visitors Bureau. Cool. Yeah. Okay. So, I'm a musician here in town, and I'm really excited. This is kind of going to be a great opportunity to interview some great Minnesota songwriters. So I think first we can start with Caleb Braun-Schulz here. Caleb was born and raised in Mankato and now performs as an established musician in the area. Caleb's music deals with a wide variety of subjects, including self-reflection, spirituality, wandering, love, betrayal, and his own struggles with mental health and coming of age as a person with albinism. Stay tuned for the release later this year of Caleb's 5th album, Things We've Kept Until You Keep Until. And then, we'll give a little round of applause for Caleb. And next in line, we have Vinny Donatelli, is a Minneapolis musician that has been prolific in his 2 main projects, Friend Dog and The Last Revel. Friend Dog is his personal project that has been described as music that dresses for the weather. As a core part of nationally touring folk-minded band, The Last Revel, Vinny sings and plays fiddle and mandolin along with other contributions. Is that fair?
I don't play mandolin, but...
Oh, I thought okay. Well, just the fiddle then. You do now, apparently. And last but not least over there, we have Annie Mack, was raised in North Minneapolis and currently lives in Rochester. Annie grew up in the rich Twin Cities music scene, which cultivated her as a soulful singer and unflinching songwriter who has built a reputation as a powerhouse blues singer. She has performed at the John Coltrane Jazz Festival, the Thunder Bay Music Festival, the Twin Cities Jazz Festival, and the Bayfront Blues Festival. And that's Annie. And then we got Joe Tugas down there supporting Annie. Joe is Mankato, lives in Mankato, and he also plays in Joe Fee in the Associates, and also Joe and Ann. Cool. Yeah, so I thought if we can just go down the line, and maybe if you want to add anything to your bio, as well as kind of like what projects you're currently a part of, like what certain bands, maybe who's doing the main act right now, like if you're touring with one in particular other than the other, and anything else maybe I forgot. I don't know if you want to start, Caleb.
Yeah, I'm Caleb. That was a fairly comprehensive introduction. I play in a variety of bands around the area. My main responsibility is to Caleb and the Nightingale Band, which coincidentally we've opened for both The Last Revel and Annie Mac. So this is kind of fun and intimidating, but whatever. That's fine. I play bass and do a little songwriting for a band called New Variant, which we will be playing on Saturday at Minnesota Original Music Fest at 5:30. And then I also do an act with my grandfather called The Old Guy and the Kid, and a duo act with my buddy Cooper called The Super Bastards. I also play bass in a band called Poor Lemuel.
Cool.
Yeah, that was everything.
Okay, good.
You said all of it.
All right, cool.
But yeah, I mostly am playing with The Last Revel these days. Things are a little bit too busy to keep both of those things in the air at the moment.
And have a family, right? It's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything I was missing down there, Annie?
So I just work as Annie Mac, and I pay artists and musicians to show up with me to places to do that. So very grateful. And I'm always very humble and honored when a established artist decides to support a peer. So thank you so much, Mr. Tulius, for being here today. And he too is getting paid. So yeah, it's good. It's good to get paid. So, yeah. Sorry, I'm in the depth of summer parenting right now. So yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, maybe we'll start on that end. So I thought we would start out with each of us just playing one song to kind of show the crowd what we sound like. And I guess just maybe pick a song that best describes maybe you as a musician now, or a specific message you want to get across to the audience. And maybe if you're willing, just kind of give some background on why you wrote it, maybe how old you were when you wrote it, and any other details. If you want to go first, Annie?
Sure, absolutely. We'll do Shadows of a Kingdom. I wrote this tune with a lot of experiences in mind, but mostly, so I have a 22-year-old who's just fantastic, my daughter, and she's helped to raise me. And so, and bearing witness to her own struggles and realizing that in order for her to step into her sovereignty and for her to step into her, her full greatness, that, Mama Bear can't come and, make it all right and make it all easy, right? So, and then just the acknowledgement of my own journey as a woman, as a Black woman, queer Black woman, and just kind of the feeling like you have to perform miracles to be recognized in this space. So we'll just do the tune. Oh, yes. The storm had been building for quite some time. Felt it in my spirit, and I saw the signs. I held my breath as I watched her hold on. She screamed as she beat her fist against her chest and then the ground. It ain't easy being queen in the shadows of a kingdom, trying to turn water to wine, hoping and praying that it's not all in vain. It's just a matter of time, just a matter of time. Oh, yes. She stood up strong and with purpose. The refining had taken place. Her thoughts and her body were sacred, no longer afraid to take up space. Her work had begun long ago in the depths of my soul. Yes, I knew she was beyond whatever I could dream. It ain't easy being queen in the shadows of a kingdom, trying to turn water to wine, hoping and praying that it's not all in vain. It's just a matter of time, just a matter of time. And as any wise queen would do, she knew to kill the beast and pardon the fools. And as the flames consumed the king, pride was denied as she faced the east. And in this troubled and lost land, she began to lead, she began to lead. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mr. Joe Tugas, y'all. It ain't easy being queen in the shadows of a kingdom, trying to turn water to wine, hoping and praying that it's not all in vain. It's just a matter of time. 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 Oh, yeah. It ain't easy trying to be a queen. Trying to be a queen. Ooh.
That was fantastic, Annie. I was just like going throughout work today and listening to all of you on Spotify, and I was really hoping you were going to play that song. So this is great. Vinny, you want to go next? Sure. All right.
I think I'm going to play a song called New Friend, which is one that I wrote when I moved back to Minnesota after living in Portland, Oregon for a minute. Well, my wife and I moved to Portland to follow a job for her, and then the world ended, and we kind of lost our housing and decided to move back in with my parents. And I would go on walks every morning around a little nature area behind their house, and kept spotting this bird kind of doing weird things and kind of self-destructive looking things. I thought it was kind of weird and decided that I should probably write a song about that. So I did, and then I kind of put it on the shelf and didn't really think much about it, and then was kind of dealing with some grief a few years later, and it kind of became a thing I cared about again. The song, it is. So yeah, this is New Friend. I met a new friend, plucking the feathers, screaming at the way it feels. Up on some cattails, outside the runoff. It's a bad time of year to be laying in the field. Coyote comes to watch too. Won't satisfy your hunger today. Okay, to bring home to family. Just a curious study in the nature of things. aching, longing and pain. I wonder, does my new friend feel guilty? Leaving the young in this way. 3 months from the day new portrait from my perch. Smoke rising green and silver. Bleached ivory washed clean of dirt. Thank you.
Thank you, Vinny. It's all you, man.
Well, those were some really good, great songs. All right, here's one of mine. This is just a little. I have a really hard time staying positive about myself and the future and everything. And as you can maybe tell, so I wrote this little song as sort of like a little reminder slash. Just kind of an optimistic song that I could play and sing and kind of remember a moment where, you know, I feel like someday is coming and it's going to be great when it gets here. So I don't know what else to say about it. It's going to be on our new record too. It's called Someday is a Long, Long Time. Someday I'll be better, like a house plant when the summer starts its blooming. I'll break down on my walls, convince everyone I won't darken the room. I'll dazzle with a charm, apprehending both the ladies and their blades. Won't second guess or triple guess or sink in one of these starkly pleasant days. But if I break, my best will do just fine. Someday is a long, long time. Someday you'll be living in a city far from everything you know. Specters from the past more scarcely catch you where you go. They're chasing women, whiskey, rhythm, rivals in a place of better fit. Some gonna take you serious, others gonna point out the jokes in it. But if you break, your best will do just fine. Someday is a long, long time. scramble back to a little home. Hopefully we built it, hopefully it's made of river stone. Someday when we're waking up, the melodies have tucked themselves away. Won't second guess or triple guess or sink in one of these starkly pleasant days. But if we break our best, we'll do just fine. Someday is a long, long time. The hits we take, but still we find a way to get by. Someday is a long, long time. It's a long, it's a long, it's a long, it's a long, long time.
Thank you. Thanks, Caleb. Caleb's like one of my best buddies ever, and every time he sings, I get so happy. So I'm really happy you're here. Good choice.
Thank you.
All right, so I've got I've got just a couple general questions for all of us, and then I kind of specifically crafted some questions for each of you. But I'm gonna start with like the general ones, and maybe just go back down the line, Caleb, if you want to go first. So because you three have all had success in performing live music, can you describe the process of how you went from playing music for yourself to playing music live? And was there any challenges that you faced, or what came surprisingly easy?
So I started playing. I started playing publicly when I think my first like public gig was when I was like 13, and so there were only really a couple of years before that where I was playing only to myself, and then I got my first gig down at the Coffee Hag in Mankato. The first, and for whatever reason, they booked us 8th graders to play to play, and that was probably a mistake, but I'm grateful for it, and that was really wonderful. And I kind of knew within the first 2 or 3 gigs that I played at that age that it was something that I wanted to like work on and bring forward and try to do more seriously as the years went by. So it felt like a pretty natural progression, I suppose.
Yeah, Vinny,
Yeah.
you're right, yeah.
Feel like I got started playing music kind of under the auspice of sharing it with other people. Like I played violin in orchestra growing up for just for some reason. I don't really know why. But when I started playing music with friends, it was like, this is something that I want to do because I want to share it with other people. I want to be able to perform this in front of whatever other people happen to be in the room. And then I met some friends in Mankato when I think my sophomore year of college. And we just kind of started playing tunes that were intuitive and sharing them at an open mic night. And then kind of one thing led to another. And I guess 11 years later, I'm still playing music. And I feel like success feels like a weird word in in the context of doing anything, I guess. Just because there's so many ups and downs. You play the best show of your life, and then you continue to run into roadblocks the very next day. To feel like any sustained success is really a thing feels kind of odd to talk about, but yeah, I guess just one thing leads to another, and then
You had one of your first shows at the 410 Project, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah, Annie, you want to go next? Just about how you went from singing for yourself to singing to others, for others.
Right. So it was fairly cathartic for me. I think the magnitude of grief kind of pushed me into this space of delusion. If you've ever experienced grief in such a way that it changes your identity. And so when my mother passed away, I felt the need to, I don't have any, formal training or wasn't raised in a household of, anything like that. So I really believe it was something given to me, more so like a platform or a tool perhaps of just relatability and storytelling. And so when my mother passed away, I was in such a space of grief and just kind of heartbreak and then just processing a lot that I just had to get it out. So initially I started as like spoken word or poetry. I just kind of wrote things down. Never, ever, ever thought I would be a musician or had the audacity to go in public and do this. And so yeah, that's kind of how it started. And I would agree with the whole idea of success. It's the difference for me between going to the dollar store or Costco. I don't know, like, like, but I'm grateful. I've been put in a lot of spaces that I think were just beyond my control, and I'm very grateful for that. And so, yeah, just telling stories and having connection. So.
Okay, so I want to know a little bit about each of your guys' songwriting process because I feel like that's a very common question that people will ask musicians. I know I've gotten it a lot, and I'm kind of like thinking back to watching the Tom Petty documentary, and they ask him that question, and he just says, "I don't know, it just falls from the sky," which is like so unhelpful. But I think it's kind of a hard question to ask you guys, but I'm just curious about how you, I don't know, go about, do you find specific times to write for yourself? Do you have to, I don't know, hear someone say something and then get home and write a song really quick? Or how do you go about that? Whoever, Annie or Caleb, want to go first?
Sure.
Yeah.
In between life happening, I wish I could, a lot of the peers or people I admire, they're like, I went to a cabin in the woods for 2 weeks and, and it's like, no, I wrote shit on a napkin when I was serving tables and I would go into the bathroom because I'm like, there's got to be more. Nothing against serving tables. I just wasn't that great at it. So like, that's your thing, that's your hustle. But there was just something inside of me that there's got to be more. There's a reason that is like, fire, shut up. There's something that I can't even give voice to it. And so I write down pieces and then I hope that it comes together to complete the puzzle. And I'm patient. The older I get, I'm like, I was hungry and I'm still hungry, but in a different way. Obviously, I'm hungry. But I've learned what's authentic. If I feel something, if I can't let it go, if my spirit and my head keeps going to this, I've allowed the process before. I was shark mode, hustle, hustle, hustle. And if I'm correct, when the world ended, or our interpretation, when it was like, whoa, So when I write, and I hope to get to if someone wants to host me in a cabin, a mother of 3, I'll clean up after myself. So I would love to have a little retreat, mom's writing. So, but yeah, in between life happening, laundry, dishes, homework, dinner,
Totally. Yeah, I feel very, very similar towards that. Just like my process has developed quite a bit over the years. And I think the biggest caveat I've figured out recently is just to not force things. I think, and a similar note to you, is that it's like always trying to finish things, I guess, prematurely when I was first starting to write songs, or just like if I had an idea, I needed to sit down and just like give up the rest of my day to figure out what that song was, and that could work. I don't know that I wrote my best songs like that, but it is kind of like trying to set things up so that a song can just fall out of the sky for you. You know, it's it's waiting tables. I wrote a few really good songs in my opinion. While just cooking food at a grocery store, and just like words kind of came to mind, and I didn't feel so invested in what I was doing that I wasn't able to just take a step away from it and write down a couple words here and there and let things kind of just develop naturally. Yeah, I don't know. I think the biggest kind of strategy for songwriting is just like giving yourself space, giving yourself like a consistent that's my daughter back there. Take your kid to work day, I guess. The biggest thing I feel like is like having a consistent practice of just writing down words, even if they don't matter at the time. If they feel like they move you, then put them down to paper, and then give yourself space to reflect on that. Give yourself just the opportunity to have a song fall out of the sky into your lap.
Makes sense. Caleb.
So oh man, I love songwriting. There's like no better feeling than when you can put those pieces of the puzzle together, and then you have this new, fresh thing that you've brought out, and it's great. And for me, I think it happens differently, like every single time. It really is like as they both said, like especially like working like the day jobs, like making sandwiches or whatever. That's a really good time to be writing lyrics upstairs. So there's been a lot of that's happened. I try to like when I'm just like noodling around on the guitar at home, I try to like if there's an idea that I have and I'm like, ooh, I might want to do something with that. I try to like get a little recording of it and then compile like a bunch of different music ideas. So then like when lyrics finally happen, which is the part that requires, I think, the most patience. When those happen, then I have like a bunch of possible homes for them to go to. And I think that's been a fairly reliable method for me so far. But really, like they said, like the patience aspect, like not forcing it and really just like kind of waiting, because the song is going to come in its own time, and there's not like you can rush through it and you can finish it. But like there was just recently there was this song that I'd been working on for a couple of months, and it was just like driving me up the wall, and it was like the only thing I could think about, and it haunted my nightmares, and it was just a disaster. And then finally one day I was like, nope, okay, we gotta put this one away for a little while, and then I wrote like an entire different song like right after that, and I was like, well, geez, where'd that come from? So yeah, it's just such a weird and crazy and awesome thing.
Okay, thanks, Caleb. I guess I'll just start with you for the questions I crafted for each of you. And then I was thinking then that's when you guys could maybe sing your second song after your question. That works. So my first question for you, Caleb, is you said you're part of like various projects, but I think you said at the beginning that you're releasing a new album this year. So if you want to tell us a little bit about that, maybe where we can find it, just some general stuff. Why did you name it what you did, etc.
Yeah. So I have been writing songs with the ambition of releasing a new album for. I pretty much started writing for the new album right after I released my last album in 2021. And it's taken a few years, and there's been a lot of like ups and downs and crazy business that's happened, and in between that's kind of put some blocks in the way. Earlier this year, I was fortunate enough to receive a grant from the Minnesota State Arts Board to record and release an album. So I've been working with Colin Scharf in Mankato, recording with my Nightingale band. And it's been a really fun process. We just finished finished it the other day, and it's gonna actually be coming out in October, and we're doing a big show at the Mankato Brewery. And actually, it's appropriate that we're here at the Arts Center of St. Peter because all the proceeds from that show, from ticket sales and CD sales and merch sales and all of that stuff, is going to actually be going to the Arts Center of St. Peter. So yeah, it gives me kind of an opportunity to give back a little bit. A lot of opportunities have been presented to me, and I am not in a financial position to like give back in that way. So like this is a really cool way to kind of try to do that and give back. But the album's going to be called The Things You've Kept, You'll Keep Until. And yeah, I don't know. I hope it's good. I really don't know. I hope.
Us too. Okay, my next question is, so can you tell us a little bit about how your albinism has changed your musical experience? Do you have to learn music differently than others? And how has your memorization skills been crafted?
Yeah, so the reason why I'm a 25-year-old who looks like an ancient mountain goat creature is because I have albinism, so my hair and skin are extra super duper crazy white. The main thing about albinism is that it affects your eyesight, so I have low vision, which, as I've been learning music, has presented some like challenges, but also I'm grateful for it in a sense because I'm like forced to memorize stuff, whether it's, you know, a cover I'm learning or if it's a song I'm learning for somebody else, or if it's a new song of mine or anything like that. I really have to memorize it because if I didn't, I'd be like, have to be on somehow holding my sheet of paper this close to my face while playing, which just isn't very practical. So that is that's kind of how it impacts me from that standpoint, from the memorization standpoint. I think my kind of like side mission musically is to like just be a person with albinism who you know, is kind of out in public, and I just want people to see people with albinism doing stuff, because there's not a lot of us around, and in the media and on movies and TV and everything, we're portrayed in a pretty negative light. So I just kind of try to bring a little bit of I don't know what to say about it. I just want people to not be weirded out by people with albinism in a general sense.
Positive enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got a song for us?
Sure. I'll do this one. This is another one that'll be on the new album. I wrote this song about I think in like the winter of 2023 or something like that, and I had a dream. I was kind of back to being a child, and I just like woke up and went downstairs. There was like a crazy thunderstorm happening in this dream, and when I was a kid, I was really scared of thunderstorms, and my mom was just sitting there, kind of like reading a book or something. I don't know, some sort of dream thing, and I just felt like this like comfort wash over me that I hadn't really felt like since I was a kid in that sort of situation, and I think I really needed to feel that, and so I wrote this song. It's called Vanilla Candle Scene. Coming home from the deepest stream, I turn the corner and she's sitting there, alone by the lamplight, something so familiar in the air. A love so old and true, worlds once hidden now tumble into view. Was overwhelmed by the things I didn't know. I'm hiding in the coat rack, I'm a surface level metaphor. lightning storms or birthday parties. Really, I just want to make it home, come whatever may. We start to forgive ourselves and live to fight another day. Always looking out for me and all the people that I used to be. I wonder what they'd say and where they went, creeping through the corridors, crawling through the vents. Waiting out the rain, staring at the window as this town is washed away. She sits beside me both so quietly. There's comfort in the silence, comfort in what was and came to be. And she holds me in a memory of lightning storms or birthday parties. Really, I just want to make it home, come whatever may. We start to forgive ourselves and live to fight another day.
Thank you. Your guitar playing is so beautiful, Caleb. It's like front row pass to watching it.
Yeah.
All right, Vinny. So explain. Hi.
Hey.
Explain the choice of developing a second project separate from The Last Rebel, and how does playing in two different projects affect your performance in each?
When I first decided to start trying to play some solo gigs, I think it was out of necessity. We were kind of, The Last Rebel was playing enough shows that we could kind of make a living doing it, but then we would also have pretty wide gaps in our schedule where I couldn't quite get a job outside of touring. So I decided that I would try to get some solo shows, get a couple bucks here and there, and maybe learn a thing or two about playing guitar and kind of fronting a project. But then The Last Rebel broke up for a little bit, and it was like, well, I guess if I want to play music, this is my opportunity to do that. And I put a lot of effort into trying to figure out what my solo project looked like, what it sounded like, and tried to just let it develop naturally into something a little bit more me, and tried to take a step away from more bluegrassy sort of stuff. But then The Last Rebel got back together, and then it just really became a matter of like creative expression. And having a project that I could call my own, it was giving me the opportunity to just kind of like really look at how I write songs and listen to what I get a kick out of in someone else's music and see how I can apply that to my own. I feel like in the context of how it's made me a different performer in The Last Rebel, I feel like having a lot more practice writing music gives me the opportunity to write better songs, and bring better songs to the table. I feel like it's given me a little bit more confidence in myself that I get to dance around a little bit more on stage with The Last Revel. I get to have a little bit more fun up there because I'm just more comfortable in my own skin because I've played a lot more shows to 0 people at this point. I feel like it gives a lot of context too. As I can go from like playing a handful of like brewery money gigs, just kind of making a couple bucks sitting in a corner playing some tunes, to no one paying attention and like get a kick out of it. At least I'm doing my thing. To then turning around and like making music that people will sing along to, and having the ability to play shows that really feel like a connective experience between the performer and the crowd. Having both sides of the coin in my pocket feels humbling and ingratiating at the same time.
That's an like interesting viewpoint, just to like, because I've seen some photos on the Last Rebel Instagram where there's like thousands of people in the crowd, and then I think I opened for Vinny when we were at Nikaido, and it was
5
my mom and dad were there.
Oh boy.
And just this last one I have is, when you're writing your songs, do you mostly think that you're just writing it because you need to get off your chest, or are you ever kind of specifically crafting songs that you know your bandmates will like, or things that you think the crowd will like?
I think the songs that I hope that the crowd would like comes kind of the last. I feel like I always really hope that the music that I write would resonate with people. It just seems to be kind of the point, for me at least. But I don't really know which songs are going to have that magic and which aren't until they're actually played in front of people. I tend to just kind of write freely and try to edit myself in terms of what I bring to what project. Like there's some songs that I'll write that are like I did have a Cabin in the Woods experience last month, which I'll tell you, I'll hook you up with those guys. They're awesome. There's this little farm out in outside of Menominee, Wisconsin, that hosts artists for artist retreats called Everwood Farm. They're incredible people out there. And while I was out there, I was trying to kind of put together a number of just like a bunch of songs for me, but like maybe a handful of things that I could bring to the Last Revel. And I wound up falling in love with this piano that they had in this old barn, and I don't play piano, but I wrote a couple songs on it. And it was something totally different than anything I've done before, and I'm really excited about those songs, but I 100% could never see those going over with the Last Revel. And it's, I think it's just kind of a matter of just like knowing the kind of like frequency, for lack of a better word, or just the direction of a creative project.
Are those songs by the Last Rebel like mostly written by Lee, or do you guys all like collaborate on them?
We all collaborate on them quite a bit. Well, collaborate is kind of like we all work on them together, yeah. But usually there's one of us that'll bring the song to the table, and then it's kind of like workshopped in terms of like musical components. But no, Lee, Ryan, and myself all share writing responsibilities quite equally. I think that Ryan actually might write the most songs for the band. But yeah, I don't know. I'll have to make a tally.
No, it doesn't matter. We like them all. Yeah, feel free to play another song if you got one.
Yeah, I'm gonna sing that song that I wrote while working at the Walk Bar. Yeah, I don't know. There's something really special about, or something. There's something about working and just wanting to kind of get away from that work and being able to just kind of come up with lyrics because of that, I guess, maybe. Or maybe your hands are just too occupied to be fully distracted. Anyways. The song is called Honey, I'm Glad to Know You. I'll be over tomorrow, but tomorrow we got bills to pay. Looking for our way out, darling, I don't know what else that I could say. This is the best we could do. Oh, just help me to cynicism, well, our skin gets loose. This is the best of our days. Oh, just chemicals excited, keep us in our lanes, keep us looking for more of the same. Deep love, we share the same life. I'm glad we were born at the same time. Good night, good night. Good night, good night, good night. He said the Ecuador, we might make it through a minor war. Adam's great demise, it would be cold. Salvation not there far. This is the best we could do. Oh, playing chicken for survival. Well, we blow this rocket too. This is the best of our days. Looking for a guy who looks like us, so we stood on one this whole time. Enough to make you go blind. Deep love, we share the same life. I'm glad we were born at the same time. Good night, good night. Good night, good night. Good night, good night. Good night, good night, good night.
Thank you, Vinny. How you doing down there? You too? Doing good? Good. All right. All right, I got 2 questions for you, Annie.
Well, before we go
Oh,
any
yeah.
further, I just want to say thank you so much for curating this space, Mel, and I appreciate you tremendously. It's not always easy as an artist to step into the role that you're doing tonight, so thank you. And then also thank you so much to the community of St. Peter for showing up and supporting the arts and live music. And so I'm very humbled and very appreciative to be here, so thank you. And of course, to share space with these amazing, I love the contrast. I dig it, and I dig the friction. So thank you for sharing space together tonight.
Cool. Yeah, thank you, Annie. We're happy that you're here. So correct me if I'm wrong. I don't often see you play a musical instrument when you're singing. Do you play an instrument at all?
No.
Okay, awesome. So I guess I'm just really curious about that because my mind goes to how do you write the lyrics and then add a musical instrument with it. I think I often also hear people say that they're interested in playing music, but they don't know how to play an instrument, but they might be into like poetry of some sort. So yeah, maybe just explain a little bit about that.
Yeah. I sound crazy. I do a lot of melody. So I think I play to the bass, and so over time when I first started, I was very, very green. So I've had to learn everything kind of on the job, so to speak. But I just have, when I started primarily blues. And so I listened to a lot of my mother's records and things growing up. So I would be able to articulate, like, I want to do, second line, kind of a Bobby Blue Bland, soul type tune. Or I want to do a traditional, that's where it started for me, is recognizing when I listen to music what it was. And so I'm a big, Stax fan. I'm a big soul fan, country, western. Like I grew up, with Loretta Lynn and so many different styles. So understanding the different styles of music and how the story is told helped me to be able to, find language surrounding of how I wanted to write a song. And now I just, sing into my, and I sound crazy, I'm very grateful I can meet people, and I'm like, and then this is gonna be like, and then after that, it's like, and they roll with me, so I'm grateful for that. But, and I've been fortunate, I know how to utilize artists who have been gifted with being able to write music and transpose, and who can hear where, I've been very fortunate. It's humbling to have to work and feel like you're dependent upon someone else, but it works out. So once I kind of, put my ego away and just had to lean into that, it's really quite beautiful. So.
Do you have any advice on someone who maybe is interested in doing a path like yours? Like if they don't know how to play an instrument, but they want to be involved in music?
I think it's important to absolutely find community where it's respectful, where it's an ever-growing community that is about like the artistry, sharing ideas, being willing to help each other. You go to the open mics, you go to live music, you do your homework, go to a lot of live music, you start showing up, I started going to blues jams. And I would just go week after week and stare at people. And then, finally, Mr. Shapiro or Moses Oakland was like, you need to learn a song and get your ass up here and do a song, And so I'm grateful for blues music because it's a mentorship style where and I think bluegrass is like that too, where you're brought in and you sit underneath somebody and you learn the history and you learn, your craft. And so just go, get out. And then if you have to drive, go to the cities or go around here or ask questions, just try to find those spaces. And this looks like, it's one of those spaces. So yeah.
I think so. My last question is, anyone who visits your website can read that you're, quote, still proud to be singing while Black and writing while Black, unquote. How did growing up as a young BIPOC woman in Minneapolis affect your musical taste and the choices you've made as a musician?
I'm very grateful. It's terrifying to be a Black woman right now. It's terrifying, and it's interesting. We assume that we practice humanity. You know, we assume that the assumption that there's a practice of humanity, but being, you know, a Black woman, cis identifying, realizing that there's so much that's done to try to strip my humanity, to take away my humanity, so that it's easier to justify the heinous and to justify true evil. So I go into spaces. When I started to perform, I remember going into spaces that were very intimidating for me. Small towns, rural spaces, spaces where there's not a lot of Black folks, spaces where, but it was important to show up. It was important to hold legacy and heritage. It's important to talk about American roots music. It's important to talk about the contributions of Black, you know, folks to this music, Appalachia, you know, the correlation between, you know, African instrumentation, that yes, we play banjos and fiddles and, you know, things of that nature. So I show up even when I'm terrified. I show up even when I'm disgusted. I show up, and then there's times where I protect my peace and I don't have capacity. And so I'm very particular about where I show up, but I understand the call, you know, and I've learned to lean into that. So, and I'm grateful, you know, I don't apologize, you know, for who I am. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that.
Mm-hmm.
If you got another song, we're open to it.
For sure. So this tune's called Get on the Train, and I wrote this about kind of realizing your dreams, and this could be at any time in your life. It doesn't matter, but I talk about the youth and stuff. I wrote it from the perspective of like an elder speaking to a younger person, but the reality is that if you're not in the habit of realizing or living your dreams, you start out very new, and so it's a new thing to actually, you know, kind of be an adolescent that way. You can be grown, and all those things, but when you finally start to live your dreams and be authentic. So, you know, for me, having the audacity to dream at my age, the things that I've been through, I hold those close. And it was given to me, once again, before I had language around it, before I even understood what it meant to dream and the audacity of that. I grew up very blue collar, very poverty, very practical. You know, I was going to go to school for automotives, and nothing wrong with that. I wish I would have, but you know, I was gifted this because it allowed me to have reprieve and a break from the reality of things. And so I learned to go into this space of dreaming, if you will. So anyway, this is called Get on the Train. Your restless spirit won't let you sleep. Divine appointment you need to keep. You have a gift the ancestors say. Make haste, brother, be on your way. Your dreams won't make themselves come true. Don't let your doubts set a trap for you. Just get on the train and don't look back. There's a freedom waiting on the tracks. Stuck between desires and fears, yes. You know your calling's greater than here. You have a gift, the wise ones say. Okay, sister, be on your way. Go to the mountains, down to the sea. Tell everybody so they believe. Just get on the train and don't look back. Just get on the train and don't look back. Just get on the train and don't look back. There's a freedom waiting on the tracks. What do you have to lose besides time? You're still young, you'll be just fine. Go see what this world has to show you. And remember, you got things to show this old world too. Now get on the train. Oh yeah. Truth be told, you got a lot to prove. Won't nobody else do the work for you. If you don't try, you'll never know. Pack up your life and get on the road. I just get on the train. Don't look back. I just get on the train. And don't look back. I just get on the train and don't look back. There's a freedom waiting on the tracks. I just get on the train. Oh yes, get on the train. Yeah, get on the train. Get on the train. Oh yes. And one of the things that I can take ownership is I used to be mortified when I had little blips like that vocally. But here's the deal: like today was a very long day. I'm tired. I'm grateful. I can own it. I'm grateful to be here, and every now and again it does happen. So there you have it. Yeah.
Thank you, Annie. And thank you, Joe, too.
And once again, Mr. Joe Tugis on the guitar.
Joe Tugis. Yeah, I think that kind of wraps up the end of our show here. But I just want. Oh, you got something to say? Oh no. Okay, I'm gonna do it. Okay. Okay. I just wanted to thank you again to the Art Center, to Triple Falls, to Annie, Vinny, and Caleb, and Joe. And am I missing anything else? Oh, I guess make sure you check out the website and the posters. There's a lot more events happening, and there's actually one happening right after this. And I'm going to let Eli explain because I don't know exactly. But I just wanted to end the night with another quote that I found on Annie's website. And she says, "Do something that you like before you leave this life."
Mel Murphy, everybody. Put your hands together. Thank you so much, Mel.